It's June 23rd, 2021. I feel extremely depressed today. Angry. More anger, I'd say, which is more causing the depression because the anger is coming out. And I believe depression is anger turned inward. But it's a catch-22 because the reality is I'm depressed because of all the injustice that has happened to me, the way the system has treated me, wrongfully losing my child. But my child also sided with her father. It was her decision, right? Because the reality is when this happened, I wasn't well. And she didn't like that, rightfully so, because it was also different. But that's the catch-22, comes from me having to be this illusion of perfect her whole life because I was an enabler. I was, worried about her all the time and this, that, and the other thing, and that didn't end up working because it's not reality. When we're separate from another parent or different things, we worry about the kids all the time. That when do we worry about ourselves? And as a person who was always abused, you can only do so much. You can only do so much. And that's the catch-22 is that, I can't change the past. Nobody can change anything that's happened. That's the reality we all have to face. But we all like to live in some delusional world. Well, poor me, and if this didn't happen, then I'd be somewhere else. But the reality is it did happen, so I have to fucking deal with that. I'm also really sick of talking to a phone as my therapy. I'm really lonely. I'm so tired of not having a human there to understand what actually has happened and do something. I'm beyond fed up. I am so beyond fed up that it's really worn me down. I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I'm in this repetitive Groundhog Day that is going nowhere. I have to believe that's not true, but that takes so much out of me. I don't know if anyone would really understand that. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, I don't know. At this point, it doesn't feel like anybody will, but I don't know. Because it doesn't feel like anything's really changing. Because I did opt in to take on something bigger, because when I do things, when I operate, I don't just think of myself, and I can't turn that off. And that's the irony of it, is that, we have to focus more inner and work, and I am. But the core of who I am doesn't function that way and never has. And so I've also suffered in guilt when I do things, because then I go, what's the impact for everything else? And there's times when I am selfish, for sure, absolutely. I'm human, that absolutely happens. But I carry with me probably more guilt than anyone really ever should, and then I see people who do shitty things all the time and they have zero guilt, and that makes me crazy. It makes me absolutely crazy. It's like, you fucking don't even think of anyone but yourself. You ignorant fuck. You don't deserve to be alive. That's actually my true thoughts now that I'm going to say openly. I'm like, you don't deserve the life you have because you don't appreciate the life you have, really, because you don't understand how you relate to the rest of the world, which means you're a narcissist. And I have a major problem with narcissists, because narcissists are bullies, and narcissists are the number one disease on the planet, which is really why humanity in this earth is where it is. So I'm fucking angry. But it's a catch-22, because I needed to learn how angry I really was. Because the truth is, I've been in fucking denial myself. I have been beating myself up for so fucking long now that I didn't deserve to be beating myself up for. I'm like, wow, I really needed to see how these people, these narcissists, were affecting not only my life, but the mental health of millions of people around the world, because so many of them are in jobs and positions that have power over people, because those power positions attract a particular type of person, which is generally a narcissist. And those people generally have the money to keep other people sick. So I'm like, well, what are my options? I got to do something to shift that whole fucking thinking around. And people go, how the hell are you going to take on the whole system? And I went, I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. And I didn't intentionally try, but I know I did because I was not well, because I am not well. And I can't quit, and I won't, but I want to. Because this whole fucking process, I've never been so angry, truthfully, at humanity. And I am human, so I've been angry at myself, right? Because of this bullshit and how we treat each other. And it's unacceptable. And if you know anything about history or about the world or about how it functions, you'd know it was funded and based on bullshit. Like, the way the Americans teach their history is based on bullshit. The way Canadians teach and their history is based on bullshit. The way India, Japan, China, everybody's wrong. Because everybody focuses on a small group of things that only really serve their own people or their own country. And that's where war has come from. Because also that is tied to the religions that support that within that country. Right? It only expanded as you have to evolve and grow. And as long as we keep looking at each other's differences, oh, you're that way or whatever else, oh, that's your label, well, you'll be fucked. But at the same time, if we're only looking at each other's similarities, then we're not appreciating the uniqueness we have in each other. And then we get insecure about that too. Because at the core of everything, the issue is everybody's insecure. Because nobody, we wouldn't be in this situation. That's it. Because cruelty, the reality is we're cruel when we're weak. When we are backs against our corner. So the core, the heart of bullying is weakness. So the top people who have generated wealth and have contributed to this problem in the world are just weak cowards. But they sit on their high horse and think that they're fucking God's gift. They're not. And I'll make sure they'll fucking know they're not. Because I'm pissed. I'm pissed at this system. I'm pissed at everybody, and it's a catch-22. Because there's nothing I can do to be out of this situation, because nothing would change my happiness. No amount of money would change my happiness. That's not going to fix it right now. I'm going to come and get money, but it's how I get money that makes the difference in the change. Not money. That's not going to fix it. That's not going to fix it. People getting off their ass and actually giving a shit and working together is what's going to fix it. And right now, in this world, what I've seen, still not fucking good enough. So I'm angry. I'm still fucking angry. And it's a catch-22, because the reality is, if I had my daughter right now too, I'm not okay.